Hi guys, Linnea here. Thank you for watching. First of all, I just want to thank you all. It means a lot to me that you care about what I have to say. And today we're going to talk about oils. It's a requested video. I'm going to take my 6 eyes off. So that requested video was just about oils. So I'm going to give you a general. As far as oils go, when I'm going to anoint something on a person, I use baby oil. I use baby oil because first of all, it's inexpensive, and second of all, it's good for the skin. When I am using something to just do candles or anoint items, I use a vegetable-based or corn-based oil. Actually, I use canola or olive oil. Olive oil is really good for tools and instruments, so I use a lot of olive oil. I do not buy the extravagant oils, almond and avocado and all those types of oils. The reason I don't buy them is, number one, they're extremely expensive, and number two, they're unnecessary in my opinion. It's olive oil is good for instruments or tools, and baby oil is good for the skin, and those are the two I use the most. I do use canola if I run out of olive and I don't have the money to go buy some, but it's rare that I run out of olive oil. I have my own stock in my witchy room that I don't use for cooking. I use it just for anointing, for my oils, to make my oils. So as far as making oils, if you have Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs, you can look up the herbs that are best for what you want to anoint them for, what you want to make them for. So if an oil is for protection, you're going to use a quartz crystal, you're going to use sage, and any other herb that comes into play there, agrimony, angelica, mandrake. You're going to use those herbs in your oil. Now you can do this one of two ways. You can heat your oil up and use your herbs in a tea bag or a muslin or cloth bag, and just put them in there as you heat the oil. This is a quick process that infuses quite fast, and it's called an infusing process. Personally, what I do is I put my herbs in the oil, and I leave them in the oil, and I set them out on an outdoor altar. I do that for 30 days. They get to soak up the sunlight for 30 days, and they soak up the moonlight for 30 days, and I feel that it gives them a charge that they don't get just sitting in a pot. The moon goes through a full cycle. So does the sun, goes through a full cycle in 30 days. So when they get the full cycle, they are prepared for any moon work whatsoever. And that's just how I do it. They have plenty of time to infuse sitting in the sun and the moonlight. And especially in Texas, it's nice and hot and humid. And that's just the way I prefer to do it. If you need to keep them, keeping and storing, if you need to keep them for more than 30 to 60 days, you want to keep them in the fridge. They're not going to stay fresh if they're just sitting out. First of all, they're not going to stay fresh, and second of all, they're going to get a film on them or in them. So you want to keep them in the fridge. Do I keep mine in the fridge? No, because I go through them pretty quickly and I sell them. And so it's not something I need to do. As far as use with oils, as I stated before, you can put them on your tools to anoint your tools, bless them, cleanse them, give them, protection. You can use olive oil when you use a sigil or a symbol on a wall in chalk, like we've talked about. You can use olive oil to go over it. First of all, that covers the chalk. You will have a little oily residue on your wall, but that's easy to take care of. You just rub it in. Sorry, I have to look at my cameras. I heard something. Okay. It will take off the chalky residue and it will add to the sigil or symbol that you're using. Then as far as you can anoint your altar, and I use it for candles. I don't recommend, I've seen a lot of videos where they poke holes in a pillar candle. They poke a hole in it with a long stick or a small dowel or a chopstick. And then they put and then they put oil in that hole. Now, I've tried it, and I found that it doesn't work very well. It leaves my candle to where it doesn't burn quite as good. And I just don't find that it's helpful in any way, so I don't do that. I also don't put herbs in the top of my pillar candle, because what happens is the herbs go right to the bottom as the wax melts, and you don't really get the effect of them like you would if it were a standard candle or a chime candle and you were rolling it in the herbs. So I don't do that either. I dress my pillar candles, and I've showed you how I do that, and I put a petition on them usually. But outside of that, I don't really use oils in my pillar candles. You can anoint the top of an oil just with your finger. The top of a candle with your finger if you want to do so. But in all honesty, I don't use oils in pillar candles. So what you do is you rub your candle with the oil that you're using for the intended spell. And then you have herbs on a cloth or a paper towel. I recommend a nice cloth that doesn't absorb a whole lot. And you put your herbs in a line, and then you lay your candle next to it and you just roll it in the herbs. And that's how you dress a candle with herbs, by using the oil and herbs. And then you burn your candle, depending on what you're doing. If it's a jar spell, you burn it on top of the jar to seal it and add to it. If it's a standard spell, you just put it in a candle holder and burn it that way. So, or you can put it on a mirror. You just light the bottom and melt it and set it, and it'll stay. So that's the gist of oils. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask. I love answering questions. I love you guys. I hope it was clear enough. Thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate you. I can't tell you how much it means to me. And remember, you're divine sacred beings of light and love. I love each and every one of you with all my heart. Please take care, and I'll see you soon.